Hey, Star Wars fans. Welcome back to another episode of Rule of the Galaxy, the Rule of the Galaxy podcast. Believe it or not, we just passed over 11,000 downloads. Whew, that's a lot of downloads. And I think we're on show like 77 or 76, something like that. But I will tell you, I know we've been getting great feedback from Nick's new show, the Clone Wars Chronicles. Everybody's been saying great job to Nick and to Sam, and they've been doing a great job. I know I just listened to one of their most recent episodes. It was great, talking about Newt Gunray and Jar Jar and Kit Fisto. But anyway, going down the rabbit hole, they're doing a great job. But as always, before we get started, you can follow us at Rule the Galaxy SW on Twitter. You can email us, ruletheGalaxySW@gmail.com. And for those of you who just like looking at our handsome faces, you can go to YouTube, check out Rule the Galaxy. We're there. We've got videos. It's us smiling and laughing and talking Star Wars. But we'll just jump right in tonight. It's Joe in the pilot seat. And I got two of my favorite co-hosts with me, two of the guys who have been through it, the thick and the thin with me here. I've got my pal Ryan Massengale. Ryan, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Joe. It's been a pretty good week. Things are going well. How about you? How's your week going?
Well, it's as you know, being here in Indy, it snowed, which was
Yeah.
crazy. Softball's going crazy, work's going crazy, but you know what? There are worse alternatives to that. So I'm positive, and we were having some good conversations before we went on the show about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think me, you, and Alfie are all liking that show, and
Yes.
I'm trying to find Falcon and Winter Soldier action figures as we speak. But yeah, good to see you. Go ahead.
So I've seen the Winter Soldier, like the movie,
Mhm.
several times. And it came up on the timeline again. That's the movie we were watching last night with Kelly. And I don't know how many times I've seen that movie, but apparently I've never seen the beginning of that movie. And I think that might be one of my favorite Marvel movies now. I had never seen the beginning where he meets his old flame.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I was passed out last time I saw it or what, but I love that movie. The scene in the elevator where he says, before we start, does anyone want to step out? I think I love that movie. But yeah, go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're fine. I love all of the Captain America movies. Those are the ones that really draw me into the Marvel, and the initial one, the Winter Soldier one, the Civil War, on and on. I love all of them. So I'm glad you're liking them. I'm hoping Kelly likes them too. Lori really liked them. She liked looking at Thor better, but she liked those movies. So we'll keep talking on that because that's another topic I want to bring up here in a little bit. But while we hop off from that, I'm wearing my Death Star Death Trooper Stormtrooper hat here in honor of my daughter who got it for me as a gift. Alfie, my good friend, you just showed us you had not only are you wearing your Mandalorian Boba Fett hat, but you have another hat there that kind of, going with the trooper effect.
Yeah,
We got
the Mud Trooper.
Mud Trooper.
Yeah,
Okay.
from Solo.
I like it. Where'd you get that? Where'd you pick that up?
Uh, I think it was in a. Let's see. Does it say it there? Is that the Funko loot box? What was that called? Smuggler's Bounty, I think, was
Yeah.
their Star
Yeah.
Wars subscription. Yeah.
Yeah. Mass, you need to get on that. That sounds like you.
It doesn't exist anymore.
No, I'm good anyway. I'm okay.
Well, glad to have you, Alfie. Alfie has been, as you guys who listen to us, follow us, and everything know, Alfie has been entertaining us for the last few weeks. One, he's always putting up great memes of Star Wars, but his daughter Azalea, who is 2,
Yep, she's 2.
constantly blows me away with her love and passion for Star Wars. And he sent over some videos right before the show, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, "What is this?" And it's just his daughter, humming the themes from Duel of the Fates, I believe,
Yes.
and just overall Imperial March. I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, and the Force theme. Yeah,
And
those are her favorites.
yeah, I thought I was bad that at 6 I was at head over heels for it. You were Alfie 2 or 3 when you
Yeah.
got into it. But man, having a 2-year-old daughter, that's just an awesome bond right there. That'll never go away. I'm really hoping her first tattoo when she's 18 and she comes to you and says, "Daddy, I'm getting a tattoo." It's a Star Wars tattoo.
Oh,
So,
she talks about it every day because I have one.
yes.
She just told me tonight at dinner when she gets big, she's getting a Darth Maul tattoo.
Oh my gosh.
He is her current favorite. Darth Maul and Rey. That's all day, every day.
She definitely bounces around on favorites, but that's good. We all should. I mean, I change mine all the time as well. So, so we are going into tonight's show with a couple random topics, just random things. We heard great feedback from the show we did recently about Star Wars and family and how the Star Wars Rebels really was a way of showing all these unique individuals becoming family. And I started thinking about like, how does Star Wars make you feel? What things in Star Wars bring out feelings and emotions with you? So we're going to talk about that because as a group, all of us in the Rule of the Galaxy crew, we started sending over scenes that made us laugh, scenes that made us cry, scenes that still kind of bug us a little bit, those kind of things. But then on Twitter, man, the people were just, and I'm just gonna have my phone up and I'm just gonna read through some of the tweets. But so that's something we'll hit. I'm excited to do and looking forward to it. I did want to follow up because Mass brought up this week. I know this is a Star Wars show, but we're talking about ruling the galaxy. I mean, yes, that tends to lead towards Star Wars, but are we ruling the galaxy in just entertainment talk as well? Because what would it be like if we just did a show just on Marvel one time? Just Marvel related, no Star Wars talk. Do you think the listeners would be upset if we just did a Marvel talk only? Because I personally think it would be fun. I think it'd be a blast for us to talk about our favorite characters, movies, comics, all that kind of stuff. Mass, you brought it up. Alfie, I'll go with you two. What are your thoughts on a future show where we just got the Rule of the Galaxy crew together and just talked about the Marvel universe?
I think it'd be pretty good. I mean, I think our base of listeners would probably be okay with any of the big four
Okay,
outside of Star Wars.
good. Mass, I'm guessing since you brought it up, you're all in on that as well.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I mean, because I've seen them all, and I'm rewatching them again, and I'd really like to talk about them. I mean, they are fun movies.
They are. They are.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we'll sit down as a group. We'll text back and forth with everybody who's in the group and see who's interested. And we'll just put it together and we'll bring out some topics and go over things because I think one of the topics you brought up, Mass, was great about, did Isaiah, was he Captain America? What role did he play in the Captain America kind of role? And being that I'm a big Cap fan, I've been doing nothing but researching and digging into his history and his background and the people who've played, that or done that role. So I'm all for it. And let's face it, Tony Stark's a cool guy. Thor is a great character. Black Widow, I mean, well, she's Black Widow. I mean, come on.
Right.
So I mean, there's plenty for us to go into. So I think it's fine. And you know what? We've got Bad Batch coming up soon. But I think things will quiet down and just focus on that for a while. So maybe we'll mix in some Marvel. I will tell you, and I'm gonna put it out here on the airwaves right now. Brent and I and Nick and and Alfie and Brent and I and sometimes Mass has jumped in and done some fulcrum files on Star Wars Rebels. I think with the success of what Nick's doing with the Clone Wars Chronicles, he and Sam, I think we've pushed Brent over the edge, and I think he's ready to dip his toe in to being a host and hosting the Fulcrum Files. If one of you guys every now and then would want to be his co-host, I think that would be great. He's doing it in a chronological. We've already done like the first season, the first few episodes of season 2. But I think as Mass, as you're going through it, if you want to hop in, I know Alfie, it's one of your favorite shows. We're going to push Brent because I think he'd do a great job at it. And so I think we might be adding to the overall scope of what Rule of the Galaxy is doing, and not only have the regular weekly show, but then parse in Clone Wars, parse in Rebels, and also, I mean, let's face it, let's throw out there what's right in front of us, the Bad Batch. I don't know. I was going to ask you guys. We'll just get some. We've not talked about this, but Bad Batch starts on May the 4th. Disney Plus has watch party availability. I don't know. Do you think, like my TV's right there behind my computer screen? Do you think we sit here like this with the cameras going, and we turn on Disney Plus over there because copyright, we can't have it up on our computer screens while we're doing this, but we can be watching it and talking about it while we're doing that? I think, what do you think about that with Bad Batch? And I mean, the first episode's 70 minutes long. Any thoughts on doing a Bad Batch live discussion while we're watching the show together?
Yeah.
Well, give it a shot. Why not?
They don't call them the best color guys in the industry, folks, for nothing. Well, you know what? We might try that again.
What?
The Marvel discussion we'll have, and then we'll have the discussion of watching Bad Batch live with the group here. But go ahead, Alfie.
It's not like I'm not going to watch it 3 times a day anyway, so I can watch one of them.
Yeah,
I agree.
We should probably watch it first.
One time first. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't want to hear you talking through the whole thing.
I understand.
I gotta hear what's going on.
Okay. All right. Well, we can do that. So, one of the first topics, and I don't know if I have enough here for the Force 4, but we'll try it out. We'll try out Force 4 number 1. Rian Johnson is dying to direct an episode of The Mandalorian. Are we okay with this? I know we've discussed that if he gets another trilogy, we're Star Wars fans, we'll give him a try. But do we feel like, I mean, I don't, Mandalorian right now is going so well. I'm not sure we want to have things subverted, our expectations subverted for an episode or two. Any thoughts on this? Now, I will tell you, I'm gonna steal off of Rebel Force Radio. I listen to Jimmy and Jason and Paul Bateman, who do a great job. Especially when Paul's on there, he adds so much to it. When asked about his Rian Johnson's favorite movie of 1977, the year that Star Wars: A New Hope was released, he said his favorite movie that year was Annie Hall, and he said he really didn't care for The Empire Strikes Back when it came out. So look, we're not trying to cause a stink, but Mandalorian's just riding on high right now. I don't want to change things up. I'm good with the people they keep putting in place right now. How about you two?
Go ahead, Alfie.
I feel like we're gonna have some no comments.
No, I got plenty of comments. I don't personally don't want him to touch it. I mean, I think you could tell that he didn't feel the same way about Star Wars that I feel about Star Wars from The Last Jedi. I mean, I've always felt that way. And, if they want to give him his own trilogy and let him do his thing his way, I'm okay with that. Something new, but I don't want him screwing with, because I don't want to see him do anything else to Luke Skywalker. I would rather not, because I don't trust his direction.
You would maybe trust it more if it was 1,000 years before the Skywalker saga or 1,000 years after the Skywalker saga.
You give him his own trilogy and let him. I would watch that, but I don't want him messing with anything else that's already good and going.
Okay, Alfie.
I see it both ways, but I agree with Mass. If he's going to do something, he needs to do his own thing and have complete control over it from beginning to end.
Yes.
Agreed.
I've said the same things about J.J. Abrams. He's, to me, in all of his projects, the first third are great. And then because he's a setup guy, he's not a closer. So, but then again, there's another part of me that just kind of wants to watch the world burn. And, I want to read all the comments, the people who love it, the people who hate it, the Star Wars is dead. Oh, Star Wars is alive. It would just go on forever.
Gosh. Okay. Hey, I guess we get the name out there more, right? They're looking for marketing. Everybody would do the marketing on their own. So Okay, so I think we were all agreed. Rian Johnson doing a trilogy on his own where he's running the show. Go with it. Rian Johnson hopping in the middle of what's going on with Mandalorian. We're not the biggest fans of.
Not so much.
Okay. So we'll do Force 4 number 2, and I can't remember if we discussed this or not. Well, we did. We brought it up real briefly with Dominic Pace. Director Krennic, I'm seeing more and more things that there's possibility of Director Krennic showing up as part of the storyline with the Andor show. I again, I like this guy. I mean, yes, he's a good evil guy. Like he plays what was it something Mickelson, right? Mads Mikkelsen, right?
Mhm.
There's Lars and Mads. I'm not good with those names, but you guys are cool with seeing more backstory on Krennic in Andor. I mean, it doesn't have to be all the Rebel side; it could be the Imperial side as well, right?
Right. Yeah. I liked Krennic as a character. I liked his backstory, the little bit of it that they had of him and Galen, during the Clone Wars. I thought it was kind of a fresh idea of looking at an Imperial rising up through the ranks, not through fear and intimidation, but actually trying to work his way up.
Was that in the prequel to Rogue One, the book? Was it in that novel where they showed those two working on things together and all that leading up to Rogue One? Like Clone Wars and then after Order 66 and all that?
Yeah, I think so. And Krennic was the one who rescued Galen Erso from a separatist attack, I think, something like that.
I think you might be right. We'll do some digging on that, but it sounds familiar. So yeah, I think it would be a good move. I think we're good with this. So I guess we'll call this Force 4 number 3, but really it's just a question. Have any of you started watching any of the vintage Star Wars on Disney Plus yet? That's either the Boba Fett cartoon from the holiday special, the Ewoks movies, the Ewoks cartoons, or the Tartakovsky Clone Wars at all yet on Disney Plus. Have any of you give them a try yet?
I've personally been watching the Clone Wars, and then my daughter and I have watched the Ewoks cartoons and the Ewok specials.
And Azalea, right? Or
Yeah.
is it okay? Has she enjoyed the Ewoks ones?
Yes.
Okay. Did the song get stuck in your head? We are the
Yeah.
Ewoks. Okay. All right. I watched 1 or 2 episodes of the Ewoks cartoons. I watched probably 2/3 of the is it Caravan of Courage is the first, right? Yes. Battle
Yeah.
for Endor is the second one. Caravan of Courage, I've watched about 2/3 of that, and I've watched about half of the Clone Wars. Tartakovsky's on there. I mean, all good stuff. The Ewok movie, it gets there's some corniness to it, but it was good nostalgia to watch it. I mean, it's been a long time since I've watched it, so it was fun. Mass, you have probably not jumped in on that yet, right? You're still in Rebel season 2 and
Well, the
Marvel
Clone Wars,
movies.
the Clone Wars movies, I actually had bought those for Elliot long time ago. So I've seen those and I like them. The Ewok stuff I have not checked out yet. No.
I'm gonna say the Ewok stuff's not going to be up your alley, so
Probably not.
I would say if you want to go back and watch the Clone Wars one, and I would go watch the 9-minute long Boba Fett holiday special cartoon. It's kind of interesting to see 1978 animation with the voices of Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, Anthony Daniels. It's really kind of like, whoa, you're in a time machine when this thing comes on. So, so yeah, that was fun. Have you guys seen this as much as I have, or is this just so Force 4 number 4? Keanu Reeves. We discussed it months ago, but now they're coming back, and there's more and more people posting this up. Keanu Reeves in a future Star Wars, and is it a Knights of the Old Republic? Is it a game, or is it a movie, or is it something for Disney Plus? I'm not the only one hearing this, right? You guys are seeing this like on Twitter and
Oh
things
yeah,
like that.
that's been on It's like years going on now. You never know if it's real or not.
Right. But they definitely are pumping it now. It's like it's out there. It's going like crazy. I don't know. I'd be fine with it. Like I said, you want to put him as Revan? Heck, I think that would be an awesome fit.
I love.
And then also, last but not least, we've already done the Force 4, but I did read something yesterday and today. They're revamping Knights of the Old Republic. Have you guys seen this?
Yes. And I was reading today that there's a new one in the works.
Really?
Yes. But again, I've read that for a while too.
So what's it supposed to come out on? Is it still a computer game, or is it going to go through PlayStation? Or
I haven't read anything that specific about it.
no? I've always wanted to play that, and I never did. It
was a great game.
There's still people. There's still people to this day who are hooked on it. I mean, they play it all the time, right? I mean, it's that popular that it's still going.
Was a computer version, I think, that was like an open-ended game, and I'm pretty sure they're still doing updates for it.
Really
crazy. Well, that was kind of the news stuff. I'm sure there's other things that I missed, but work and softball have been so crazy that I haven't been able to dive into news stuff that much. Again, I started this with you guys, gosh, on Saturday, just saying, okay, guys, let's be goofy. Let's think about things to either make us laugh, make us cry, or tick us off or whatever. I'm just going to read through just in our text messages. I'll just read through. I just said, all right, I'll throw some quick thoughts out there. Yoda telling Obi-Wan there is another. It's a good scene, but it's one of those scenes that I'm 49 years old. It still drives me crazy. I mean, was Lucas, well, you know, that boy was our only hope. No, there is another. I mean, at that time, people thought, well, is it Boba Fett? Is it, you know, all these different things nobody knew. But now looking back at the prequels, they fixed all these other daggone things in the movies, right? Why not fix that one little scene? Because Obi-Wan and Yoda both knew that Leia was out there. So saying there's another, I mean, are they now going to say maybe that other was Ezra Bridger? I mean, I don't know. Thoughts, Alfie?
I always took it that the other was explained right at the end of the movie.
It is explained between the dyad between Luke and Leia, but
well, no, when he's calling out in the Force, she's the one who hears him.
I agree, but I'm saying that one scene, it made it seem like Obi-Wan was like, doop, 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 doop. That's it. That's our only hope. No, I mean, Yoda's telling him there's another. You'd think he'd be like, oh, you mean Leia? Oh, you mean the twin sister? I mean,
well, they're not going to spell it all out for you.
Hey, I just ruined the movie. Come on, Joe.
Come on. I mean, but still, I mean, okay, one of my other things is stuff that drives me crazy is putting the old the Jabba the Hutt scene back in with Han. So if they did that scene, why couldn't they tweak this scene just a little bit? Or Obi-Wan going, yes, there is. I don't care. But that one little thing just still drives me crazy. It's just one that drives me crazy. Go ahead, Alfie.
Well, and this is just the way that I take it. Obi-Wan was going all in on Luke as the only hope.
Yeah.
Yoda was hedging a little bit in that, yeah, he probably is, but if not, we do have a backup.
Okay. All right. And now we know from Rebels that at one point in time, Yoda was communicating with Kanan, Ezra, Ahsoka at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had just done that right before A New Hope. So, let's see here. Alfie, one of the first things you put, Leia saying she remembers her mother.
Yeah, that always bothered me. Again, like you said, it was answered in the prequels.
Yes.
But at the time when she said that made you, in the context, it was insinuating that she knew
right
the actual mother, the wife of Anakin Skywalker.
Well, and I think looking at it like we've done so many times, I think they retconned it because in the books, Bail Organa's wife dies when Leia's very, very little. So that's why she was
Right.
sad. That's why, all that kind of stuff. So agreed. That scene does. I mean, it does. Let's face it. It gets you. I like that you said when C-3PO slaps the top of R2, it always makes me laugh.
Always. When he slaps him and when he kicks him.
Yes, I agree. Go ahead, Mass.
So, I'm a different kind of cat. So what makes me laugh every time is the Rancor keeper right after the Rancor dies, and his face, he starts crying, and his face, it makes me laugh every time, man.
and that guy comes up to him and goes, blah, 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 right?
Puts his arm around him. It's making me laugh right now. It makes me laugh every time.
Brent Dyken wrote us and said, every time I see Hux, I laugh because I hear Joey saying bitch boy Hux. Every time I see him. I mean, let's face it, there was some really good potential with Hux. I do think that.
Yeah.
I don't think it panned out the way, Agent Callus in Rebels was probably a lot like Hux and then made some great changes throughout that series. I think they could have done the same thing with Hux in the sequel trilogy. Of course, Brent kept typing Hicks instead of Hux, so that made it more fun. Let's see here. Go ahead if you guys think anything. I'm just gonna read through some of the ones that.
Okay, what bothers me every time is the tossing of the lightsaber in The Last Jedi. I mean, I cannot get past it, man. It makes me cringe every time.
Yes, I would say for people who grew up like us, where Luke Skywalker was the man, that was a very difficult thing for any of us to watch and see. Maybe the people who are in their 20s and think that Luke is an old fart, and let's face it, when we were in our 20s, we thought old guys with gray hair were old farts. It probably was like, cool, the old guy's pissed, so great. But yes, for us, okay. So I then said, what are some parts that rip at your heart? What are some things that pull your heartstrings? I'll throw out a couple, and then Mass, you give me some. Alfie, you give me some, and I'm going to bring in the movies plus the animated series. Satine dying in Obi-Wan's arms in the Clone Wars was some of the best Star Wars. I could watch that over and over again, and it hurts like it's a movie when that happens because I love Obi-Wan so much. So that was my first one. Go ahead, Master Alfie, throw one out there.
Well, when I was a kid, what ripped my heart out was when Han got frozen in carbonite.
Yeah, that was tough.
I thought he was dead. I thought that was the end of Han Solo. So yeah, I mean, not so much now, but again, ripping the heart out. I'm going back to tossing the lightsaber in The Last Jedi. I'm just
no, that's the title of the show, by the way. Tossing the lightsaber. Alfie, hit us with one real quick, because we had plenty of listeners comment on this, and yes, we're joking around, but there were some really great comments, so we're just kind of having fun with it right now. But Alfie, hit me with one that like tugs at your heartstrings every time you see it.
Han Solo touching Kylo Ren's face right before he falls off the bridge. That one gets me every single time.
It is tough. I mean, I think for me, the thing that gets me on that is not only is it Han Solo, who we all love, but being a dad and knowing you would do anything for your kid.
Yeah.
And seeing that and knowing that that's pretty much what you have to do. He knew it when he saw him on that planet. When he saw him run off, he's like, yeah, I know. He kind of knew it was coming. But you're right, Alfie. So
smiled. Yeah.
Tough. Okay, so I'll hit you with a couple more. Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Order in the Clone Wars. Again, Filoni knows what he's doing. Han dying. Gosh, you know what? I'll give the sequels this. The Chewie finding out that Leia was now gone too, on top of him already losing Han. When Chewie broke down and just started wailing in The Rise of Skywalker,
Yeah,
that hurt. I mean, that
it did.
felt painful. I don't know. I mean, and it's a Wookiee. We shouldn't think that way, but but he's so much part of the family that I don't know. So again, I'm throwing stuff out there. Go ahead, hit us. Either one of you guys hit us with another one.
Mando saying goodbye to Grogu.
Yeah, that was tough.
Very well done. Very good emotions in that scene.
Yeah, and to your point about Chewbacca, it was a guy with a mask on and a little puppet. Yes, he does take the mask off, but still, leading up to it, he has a mask on.
Agreed. Qui-Gon dying at the end of Phantom Menace. Qui-Gon's a cool dude. I didn't want him to go out like that. I don't think Natalie Portman and Padme get enough credit, and it's because the movies had to be so quick and abrupt and everything else. But reading the books about her now, Queen's this, Queen's that, all these ones that happened between and after those movies, and then also watching the Clone Wars, her getting that emotional at the end, and then hoping that Anakin was okay still, and hoping that there was still good in him. I thought she did a really great job. I don't care. I thought that was an awesome scene to think of her having her babies, having the children and then losing her life. I thought that was really good, and it gets me kind of
That whole last third of the movie is a big, tug on your heart.
You're right.
A lot of people mock the silent scene between Anakin and Padme when they're in the different rooms.
Oh gosh,
it gets me right in the feels every single time.
I agree.
When right after he cuts off Mace Windu's hand and he has this look on his face, like this realization of, I just really screwed up, and I have no choice now but to just bite the bullet and go on in.
Agreed.
When the lightsaber lights up in front of all the kids and he's got, yeah.
Some things that make me laugh to go along with these heartstring things. Obi-Wan in the prequels, I've said it a million times, to get a drink. He's just got those kind of little lines. He just always makes me laugh with those. When he goes and meets the Kaminoans, that's why I'm here. I mean, he just does. Ewan McGregor, I hope if nothing else, he brings that comedy, that lighthearted comedy back into this series, because I think he does such a great job with that. While I go start searching all the Twitter, because we've got plenty of them, you guys bounce out. Something makes you laugh, something makes you cry, something that hurts every time you see it. Keep it going right here.
Every time you see that scene of Kanan getting his vision back, yeah, that again, it's an animated show, but that one hurts.
Mass, you are, by the time you get to the end of Rebels, I'm telling you, you're right. Kanan, you're going to be telling me, dude, Kanan Jarrus is one of my favorite Jedi. You're gonna say that.
Okay.
I'm putting money down. I'm writing it down. Right now.
I would agree, and I've made this point before, and I think the reason that he is, and he's so good in the show, is that Filoni went with a different direction, and instead of being a master, he's like such a mediocre Jedi when you meet him.
Yep. And let's face it, that line that he had when he was facing the first Inquisitor, when he said, he was like, I have nothing left to fear now. After he thought he lost Ezra, dude, you're like pumped. You're like, yeah, it's like a Rocky scene right here. He's gonna go off. It was pretty cool. So the Chosen One, who great follower, great person to communicate with us on Twitter. He listens to the show. He's in Ireland. So the Chosen One, always thank you for reaching out. He said the things that make him cry: Ahsoka leaving the Order, the final scene in Rogue One. He said when they're holding on to each other and the everything's blowing up around them. The thing that makes him laugh is the thermal detonator scene from Solo the movie, where it's click click He said that actually, yeah, makes him laugh. And then his jaw drop was Vader's Rogue One corridor, corridor scene.
Yeah.
He just like, you just like, whoa, right? Like that just
Yeah.
blows you away right there. So yes, chosen one. Thank you for that. You guys both mentioned on the Rogue One. There's some great, just so much emotion wrapped up into one movie where we get to know those characters for a little over 2 hours. I mean, just some great scenes in there.
It was
I
some
tell
great
you,
movie.
I tell you one that really shocked me in Rogue One was in the first 5 minutes. He gun smokes that guy in the back.
Yes.
That was, I mean, completely out of left field. He's supposed to be a good guy.
Agreed. Yeah, right. You're like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah, I thought he was a rebel.
So let's see here. Goodness gracious. This person is Paper Boy, but it's BOI, Paper Boy on Twitter. The thing that makes him cry, Ahsoka says, I won't leave you to Anakin. That makes him laugh. Han talking on the intercom in A New Hope.
Yeah,
We're all fine here. We're good. How are you?
How are you?
I mean, great scene.
So, a couple of things.
Go ahead, Mass.
A couple of things that made me say, wow, were both in The Mandalorian. When you first get introduced to Ahsoka in that scene, that blew me away. And then, of course, when Luke comes back in The Mandalorian, and his X-wing comes in, both of those were so good, such great scenes that I still, every time I say, and the last 4 episodes of season 7 of the Clone Wars, I watched that a few times. I mean, that's, yeah, I like that more than I like the prequels and the sequels. I do. I thought it was just great, and it's animated, but it's great.
While we're on that topic, Mass, because I agree with you, do either of you think that if COVID had not hit, that last 4 was going to be released at a movie theater as one because of the John Williams music, the logos at the front, like they used a long time ago in Galaxy Far, Far Away? Do you think it could have been done that way and then COVID hit and they're like, well, let's just break it up and do it this way? Or do you think all along they were like, no, we're just going to do it? Because they started the Clone Wars with a movie years ago.
That's what was going to be my point. Lucas said, those first few episodes, hey, this is just basically a movie. Let's throw it out there. I think it could have been. It's that good. It could have been.
It could have been, yeah.
I think it would have packed the house too.
That dialogue between Ahsoka and Maul before they start fighting.
Yes.
About Anakin and everything.
Yeah. And the teetering on the dark side and the light, and him trying to just almost trying to save her from what was to come to the Jedi. That was good. That was some good stuff.
You mix that in to the conversation she was having with Rex, who says the only reason we're here, the only reason I'm alive, is because we were created for this war, to be soldiers in it. I mean, that's his own sole purpose, right? And she's like, you're a better man than you are a soldier or a general, whatever. I mean, that was, again, here we are. How goofy is it that we're talking about how many scenes in the animated series and Mandalorian? We love the movies, but yet we're still being able to go back to these and how much they're sticking in our craw.
Well, because they made the movies that much better.
Agreed.
The way that Filoni, kind of teetered and toyed with Anakin, teasing the dark side. Well, it's a little slide here and there.
Yep.
It just makes it that much better. Mm-hmm. His reaction when Ahsoka, with Kenobi, when Ahsoka leaves, you just see that foundation crumbling.
Yep. Tore him up. Paperboy has some other good ones to go along with this. Again, Han on the intercom in New Hope, which we all love. His shock was seeing the Vader being foreshadowed on Mortis when Anakin, all that was going through him with the sun on Mortis. His joy was when Vader kills Palpatine in Return of the Jedi. The thing he's most hyped about, Mass, Luke and the Mandalorian. I mean, he was like, that just got him going. The thing that hits him in the feels is Ahsoka referring to Anakin as her older brother. And the thing that gets him most excited every time, he says, is the Duel of the Fates battle and the Mustafar battle. I mean, he was like, those right there just get him going every time. So that was a
I
good
love
list.
the Mustafar battle.
We've talked about it. George threw the kitchen sink in on that one. He's like, we're going to do everything we possibly can. It's good stuff. Good stuff. While I'm searching, feel free to throw out another one. I know we've got 100 things we could hit on.
Okay, so one of the things that bothers me,
Yeah.
and even though I just I just said the last 4 episodes I love of the Clone Wars, but it always will bother me that they brought back Darth Maul. It got cut in half
and fell down 1,000-foot
right
shaft.
And I mean, it's always gonna but I see why they did it, and it turned out to be great in the end, but it's always gonna bother me.
Completely understand. Go ahead, Alfie.
One thing that bothers me, and this is because we watch the Duel of the Fates like 10 times a day at least. What is the purpose of that room? It's guarded by those laser things, and then there's just a big hole.
Well, they couldn't afford rails,
Yeah.
so they put those big electric shields in front of it.
And it just dawned on me, like after my 500th viewing, I was like, well, what the heck even is this room? There's there's nothing in there but a hole.
Oh gosh, that's good. That is good. And the thing, look, I love Duel of the Fates. It's one of my favorite things in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But if you have the super speed run, why doesn't Obi-Wan Kenobi use that to catch up to Qui-Gon?
Why didn't he just wait? He couldn't go anywhere.
This is true. I mean, come on. I don't know. We're looking at the little minuscule things of this artwork right here. Tom Line, our dear friend Tommy Line, who probably right now is getting chased by a goose somewhere. Tom Line, he gets chills when Luke walks in with the hood up, ready to go to work in Jabba's palace and the Mandalorian, because both times he comes in with the hood up and the green, all that. So I agree, Tommy. You are right on that. One of the things that also gets him going is when Luke gives the signal to R2 on the skiff outside Jabba's sail barge. And then he said, last but not least, when Yoda draws his lightsaber in Attack of the Clones, it's on, but you have no idea that he fights like the Tasmanian devil on crack. That is fabulous. I agree. I mean, that is just fun stuff. I tell you, one of the scenes that gets me choked up every time, that makes me like really feel like it's almost potential to be a real Jedi in real life, is it's a mixture of the music, the scenery, and the importance of it. Dagobah, when Luke can't get the X-Wing out, and little Yoda goes through the speech and then takes it out, and that music's building as that X-Wing is coming out of the water and lands, and it's just that music's pumping through, and Luke's just, I don't believe it, and that is why you fail. That scene right there, I could watch it 100 times. It's just a great scene. So,
Agreed.
and to see that J.J. Abrams and Rise of Skywalker kind of said, we're going to pay homage to that scene with Luke, I can dig that. I would have been more happy if Luke would have been alive instead of a Force ghost to do it. But yeah, I still thought it was done well to do that for Rey. The Wanderer, who is Sam from our Clone Wars Chronicles show, the Wanderer says it hits him in the stomach and makes him cry. Ahsoka and Anakin's conversation at the end of The Jedi Who Knew Too Much, the end of her time with the Jedi. And it makes him laugh every time. The conversation when Luke and Han are getting ready to go to the Sarlacc pit, and he goes, "I used to live here, you know. Yeah, you're gonna die here, you know. Convenient."
I'm like, how we doing, kid? That bad, huh?
Yes. Hit me with something else there. You guys have a million of them. I'm just reading what our listeners
Okay.
have said.
One that gets me in the feels is the lightsaber flying into Rey's hand at the end of The Force Awakens. That the first time seeing that was just amazing. Things that bother me. Why couldn't the Jedi sense that Anakin was sleeping over at Padme's apartment?
They all knew.
I think
They
they
all
did.
knew.
I think they did. I mean, reality. One, I thought, man, at the end of, again, I've said it 100 times on our podcast. At the end of The Force Awakens, after having that gut-wrenching scene of Han dying and seeing that lightsaber come to her, I wasn't overly concerned. How'd she learn all that? I don't know. I don't care. It's a space fantasy. We've seen guys fall down 1,000-foot shaft who are cut in half, you know, come back to life. So you have to get reality out of your head. So she's good at the lightsaber after Kylo Ren says something, and then you see Luke at the end on that hill, and those things all wrapped in together. I thought, damn, we are going somewhere with this. Like, this is taking things to the next level. I was like, this is going to turn out good.
See
So,
what I mean? He's a great setup guy.
You're
All
right.
of his stuff in the beginning is great. And I didn't worry about it too much, just like you said, because that was the name of the movie, The Force Awakens. So from that first shot of the trailer of Finn popping up out of the desert, but he's in the stormtrooper armor, I thought, okay, here we go. The
Right.
Force just, things are really bad, and all of a sudden the Force awakens. And all of a sudden people are Force sensitive. I get it.
Now, to say all that, where we had all those positives, where we're like, we're going in the right direction, man, I know at some point in time we're going to learn about a comic, and I've been told it's in the comics. How did Maz Kanata get a hold of Luke's lightsaber from Empire Strikes Back? I still haven't figured that out. I know somebody said it's in the comic, but I haven't had that revealed to me. I haven't seen it yet. So, again, one of JJ's sayings of, I'm going to set this up.
Right.
I'm just not going to finish it. So,
Episode of Lost.
Dave Jones, Dave M. Jones, the Dave M. Jones, he's a great listener and always communicates with us on Twitter. And he's a good pal of Steve Glosson, and I've listened to them do shows on Star Wars characters and Marvel characters. He said the thing that makes him laugh every time is when Han chases those stormtroopers down the hallway in A New Hope, screaming and yelling, and then turns a corner and they all start shooting back and chasing him. Again, Han Solo, man, he's got some great scenes in this stuff, and he's right. That is some funny stuff right there. Let's see. I'll keep moving through and scrolling through because there's a handful more. Again, hit me, guys, because I know I'm taking too much of this up. So
the Jedi rock scene from the special edition of Return of the Jedi, I think that just fell really flat.
The Jedi scene.
That's the band in Jabba's palace that was redone.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That was great.
You like that 3D guy having the slobber in his mouth singing right in front of the screen, right?
No.
And Boba Fett flirting with that girl and like
that was okay.
Doing the chin thing. I mean, come on. When does Boba Fett a ladies' man?
Well, of course, he's Boba Fett.
Okay. And he's comfortable enough to wear a black skirt now, so that's good. Which, by the way, that figure needs to come out because that's a good-looking figure right there, waiting to happen. Just plain Ken on Twitter. Cry. He cries when Rey admits her family is gone. He laughs when Jar Jar gets paralyzed in his mouth and says, "My tongue, it's fat. My tongue." Was that the pod racer who did that to him? Gets ticked off when Han doesn't shoot first. Yeah, that one gets me too. I was going to bring that one up. The whole McClunky and Greedo shooting first. Hmm. There's some Jar Jar scenes that make me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. When he steps in poop, I'm like, seriously, you stepped in poop. I mean, it's just weird. It's funny. Anyway, um, hits in the stomach when Lando betrays Han.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, when they walk into that dining room, whew,
Mhm.
that's tough. I mean, that was a hard one. Get super excited seeing Luke's X-wing in the Mandalorian. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And our friend Brent Dykeman just sent me a text while we're live and recording. Hey man, so sorry, so busy at work. I will be there next week. So Brent, we love you, brother. Understood completely. Joey's in Chicago. You're busy. Nick had some family things to take care of. We know you guys are out there. We're good. Benny, Tony, we miss you. We need you back. Um, again, another person just playing. Well, no, it's just playing Ken again. When Luke says, I used to live here, and Han, you're going to die here, you know. I think that everybody likes that scene. Ryan McGee, that's at ESPN McGee. So this is an ESPN employee, says, I cry at Han's death. I laugh when he says, I don't know, fly casual. Good scene. That's a good scene right there.
Yeah.
He gets ticked off when Mace is taking way too long. What does that mean? Mace taking way too long. They should have just gone ahead and ended the Emperor,
Yeah.
or
Should have cut him down right
Okay.
there.
He knew he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Now, here, look at this. This is at ESPN McGee again. Ryan McGee hit you in the stomach. The Bespin banquet hall doors open. Again, I mean, people really like that scene right there.
That was
Chills.
so unexpected.
It was.
It was.
Chills when Luke goes after Vader in Empire. When he lays out the attack on him there. When he should have been a little bit more defensive. Music I hear in my head the most often. Arrival at Death Star 2. Interesting. Do you guys think of the music that's Arrival at Death Star 2? Is that when they're out in the shuttle and that music's in the background? Or is that when
The
Vader's
Imperial
showing up?
March?
Yeah, is that when Vader and the Emperor are both showing up there? I don't know, but
Vader shows up first.
Yep.
And then plays the Imperial March, and then the Emperor's theme when he shows up.
So, hey, ESPN McGee, let us know, because there was multiple times of that. I mean, let's face it, John Williams, all that music is good. Aaron Sky Guy on Twitter. I cry when Anakin looks at his son with his own eyes. Good scene. Good scene. And the words and everything going along with that was very well done. Laugh. C-3PO freaks out because he's naked. Okay. Joy. Luke apologizes to his nephew on Crate and saves the resistance. I did like Luke's lines there. I mean, for all the things on The Last Jedi, I did like that scene between Luke and Kylo Ren. I thought that was really good.
I didn't like Kylo Ren in those scenes.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You said because of the more and all that craziness he was doing.
Yeah, it's like he regresses as a character, right? And I get it. I get what you're going for. I completely get it. I just personally didn't like it. I thought that was kind of his moment to become the supreme leader, which we've talked about before. There's never a supreme leader Kylo Ren moment,
right,
in the sequel trilogy. And then he reverts back to this kind of like whiny, emo teenager, in the way he like charges at him. It's like, well, why we've never, that just seems like a really dumb way to fight a Jedi Master.
Yeah. The Luke, what's the Keanu Reeves movie? I'm blanking on it. Where the Neo, the Matrix. Yes. Yeah, it was blanking. It was one of those mental blocks there. When Luke does the Matrix move where he goes all the way back like that, I don't know. That was kind of interesting. But overall, I liked.
Like I said, I got it. You know,
Yeah.
I get what you're going for. I just didn't sit with me.
Aaron Sky Guy. He gets excited when Ahsoka fights Mass in Clone Wars season 7. He gets annoyed just at Mace Windu in general. He just annoys him. So I get it.
When
Nate,
Ahsoka fought Maul,
yeah.
I got goosebumps the first time I saw it, like up and down both my arms. I mean, I was not expecting that. It was such a good. Those 4 episodes, man.
Man,
Oh,
Mass, I love hearing you say that. You don't know how happy that makes me right there. Nate Hawley on Twitter, he cries at the goodbye Kanan scene, which Mass, we've talked about it. It hits you hard on that scene. He becomes a really cool Jedi at that moment. He laughs when Yoda was sitting R2 on Dagobah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Hits you in the stomach. Clone Wars final scene and epilogues of Clone Wars season 7. Agreed. 100%. This is an interesting one here, and I'm just gonna say Star Wars J Swan. That's this Twitter follower's name. Hey, I asked for input. He gave input. The part of Star Wars that gets me most ticked off is when the filmmakers make a decision I personally disagree with, thereby instantly ruining Star Wars for all eternity. The part that makes me laugh the most is when Simon Pegg says 1/4 portion. That's what he wrote.
that ticks me off too, man.
See, this is exactly why Rian Johnson needs to direct an episode of The Mandalorian.
Star Wars J Swan, that was fabulous. Thank you for putting that in there. I mean, I won't say I agree or disagree with you, but I asked and you commented. That was great. So here we go.
Wonder what he was talking about. I mean, what
is for him? Yes.
Right. What ruined it for him?
You know what?
Which scene?
I'm going to go back to
it's
him
probably
right
the tossing of the lightsaber.
To Mass.
Probably.
Star Wars J Swan at Swan_Wars. Please, after you listen to the show, tweet to us again and explain that. I want to know more depth on that because that's a broad paintbrush right there. Vader's thoughts. Who I don't know if you've been listening to Vader's thoughts podcast, but he does a great podcast. It's like 15 minutes long where he just randomly puts his thoughts, and it's good. And we've interacted. It seems like a really good guy. His cry moment, Grogu's goodbye, his laugh moments, any scenes with Chopper from Rebels. Ticked off, Palpatine torturing Vader in the 2020 Vader comic book series. Okay. I haven't read those, but I've heard good things about those. And the thing that hits him right in the stomach, the Imbara arc, where Pong Krell and the clones, all in the dark and everything like that. That was a good freaking arc.
Yeah, that was a good one.
When they pitted the clones against the clones without them knowing, and then was it Rex and Fives who had to get them, had to like do some things subversive behind Pong Krell's knowledge and all that. That was a good arc. That was a good arc right there. And he's right. That hits you in the stomach. Seeing some of those guys might be dying, against each other. So, let's see. Yes, that is our roundabout from the comments on Twitter. Alfie, while we do have you, and while we're still sitting here on the show, you announced your Target exclusive stuff that you got. Your lovely wife Robin purchased for you. I'm seeing a Sith Trooper helmet.
Actually, I found out today that is not a Sith Trooper helmet.
Well, what is it? Is it Captain Cardinal?
Captain Cardinal
from Galaxy's Edge.
From Galaxy's Edge.
Okay, it still.
See,
looks
I
nice.
assumed it was a Sith Trooper helmet too.
You have a? Am I seeing a Kylo Ren? Real Kylo Ren, like real effects Kylo Ren lightsaber right there.
The Black Series.
That is nice. That is nice.
It's right here. If you
And you
want to see
get
it.
yes, we do want to see it. And
Oh
and,
yeah.
and didn't you get it like half price on this
Yes,
deal?
I did. Both of them.
It's looking like a Grogu sleeping bag is one
Yeah.
of the things you got, which is fabulous. Your daughter probably will never leave that thing.
Yeah, here we go.
Bring it.
It won't turn on. I
It's
think
broken.
I'm doing it wrong.
That's why it's half price.
You also got a Darksaber.
Yes. I actually got that at Walmart on clearance.
Oh man.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We all need to get those and just film ourselves running around chopping at each other. Joey's got a Kylo. Alfie's got Kylo. I've got Obi-Wan. I think we should do it.
I learned from my son that I'm not fighting with anything that's made out of plastic. Because that shit hurts. I mean, if you want to do some Nerf, I'm all in, but I'm not doing any more plastic. It's painful.
Yeah, sorry. I think we already killed the batteries on this.
I have a feeling with your family that thing's probably been lit the whole time you've had
Yeah,
it there.
it has.
Yeah.
But
probably
it's,
play
I mean,
with it
it's
all
pretty
12
sweet.
hours you're at work.
It's just like the ones at Galaxy's Edge. You know, it's all metal.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, all 12 hours you're at work, they're playing with that thing.
That's right, Alfie. You get it when the battery's dead.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, there's the helmet.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is nice. Well
Red.
done.
Yeah.
Another Black Series helmet to add to the collection.
I tell you, I'm really trying to pace myself. Now, I know I know yesterday, I think it was, they came out with new Black Series in honor of the Clone Wars, a new Clone Wars Obi-Wan, a new Clone Wars Anakin. I originally thought it said 5s, but it's Echo, a Clone Wars Echo. And then wasn't it a pilot, a Clone Trooper pilot? Was the other Black Series 6-inch?
Hawk.
Yes, Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What's the Obi-Wan look like?
It looks really good. It's him with clone armor on.
Clone armor.
Yeah. It looks really, really good. Which I have right there. The first one they came out with that. Have you seen that, Mass? Have I shown you that? So the original one they came out with was a Walgreens exclusive of Obi-Wan in the clone armor. I know it's tough to see with the light, but the next one, they kind of ramped it up even more, it looks like. Made it a little bit more photorealistic, I guess, to Ewan's face and things like that. So, yeah. But I mean, let's face it, we've got some big things coming. We've got the Bad Batch coming in how many days now? May 4th. I know that.
2 weeks.
So,
3 weeks.
2 weeks from yesterday, Mass.
Yeah.
So we've got some big things going because we have the NFL draft a week from tomorrow. And then a few days after that, we've got new Bad Batch. Should we do anything for May the 4th? Should we as a group do anything for May the 4th?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I don't know. You know, it's been a long time since we've done any movie marathons. Maybe we should watch some movie marathons together. Maybe we should watch some of them, record us commenting, doing Mystery Science Theater 3000 or whatever, with us watching the movies and making all the comments and the snide remarks that we will probably do. I don't know. We should do something. May the 4th on a Tuesday, so it's probably kind of hard to do stuff. So maybe the weekend before, the week after, we celebrate and do something somewhere. You guys think about it. We'll put a plan together. We've talked about a ton of stuff. I will encapsulate the whole thing about crying, laughing, hitting you in the gut, feeling things. Star Wars from 1977 to 2021, we've just accounted for how many things that make us feel all those emotions, right? Even the ones that make us mad, even the one of throwing the lightsaber over the shoulder, even the ones we joked about, no, there is another, whatever, it still brings out an emotion in us. And so I think to say that this franchise, to say that it's dead, to say that it's gone in a different direction. I get it. There are some things that are like, I don't know, does this work for me? Does this not? I don't know. But man, I look at this office and I see us sitting here talking like this. And I think Star Wars does occasionally make me laugh, make me cry, get me worked up, and just make me have like real feelings about something. And it's just science, science fantasy, science fantasy, right? It's so it's something that's a part of me, and I'm glad you guys feel the same way because all those listeners who are making the comments there. I mean, it's just it does bring out emotions in everybody. And I know a few weeks ago we were talking about family. To think that Star Wars is a family, the community is a family, and then that all these different things bring out these emotions in us. I think that's a good thing. And we all need a release from the regular everyday world. We need something to just go to just get away from it all and have some fun. Star Wars does that for me quite a bit. So any thoughts to go along with that you guys have before we shut it down and move on to next week and get that much closer to Bad Batch?
Yeah, I don't think Star Wars would mean nearly as much to me if it hadn't been for growing up with you and having that family. And now with my family, my kids, you know, we're a Star Wars family. We love it. You know, my son's sitting here right now wearing the stinking Captain Cardinal hat playing Battlefront while we're doing this. And I show you all the videos of my daughter and everything. So, I mean, that's what keeps it fun for me. Doing this with you guys, spending time with my family. It's awesome. And
Yep.
like you said, it's all over just, a silly movie about space wizards. So,
Mass, any closing thoughts from you before we head out?
Yeah, I just I think it's really cool how many people actually listen to morons like us, and then the reaction that get, how many people responded to that about how many people, how it makes them feel. It's pretty cool. It's really cool. I thank everybody for listening, and we bring us all your thoughts. Send us on Twitter. Tell us what you feel about, and let us talk about it. It's a good time.
I agree. I agree. To add on to that, the chosen one, the gentleman from Ireland, he reached out to me, emailed and said, "Hey, I really like what Nick and Sam are doing with the Clone Wars Chronicles." And he's like, "Clone Wars is one of my favorite things." And he was like, "Would it be okay? Can you give me Nick's contact info so I can send ideas to him and everything like that?" And you know what? It is okay. I mean, that's
Yeah.
we're not doing this. This isn't a job. This isn't some secret government thing that we're doing. You can't have a password to get in. That we're all friends. We're all fans. And I forwarded to Nick and I was like, "Nick, hey, this is a really great guy who really likes what we're doing. We should interact with him." And he's been great. And to think that we have somebody who in Ireland thinks we're doing, and I apologize, chosen one. I can't remember if it's Ireland or Northern Ireland. So I know there's a big difference on that. So I apologize. Um, but to say that somebody across the world does that and listens and makes comments to us, you're right. It does mean a lot. So, this is, like I said, we all have our own families, but this is our Star Wars family here. And I like us all being together and doing this. And we'll get the whole crew together again soon. Everybody's busy. I get it. And Brent will be calling both of you guys, I'm sure, at some point in time soon to have you be his co-host on the rest of Fulcrum Files. So, but guys, thank you to our listeners, thank you to the Rule of Galaxy crew and you two, my Ohio toy store, road trip buddies here. We'll just keep having fun with it, and we'll plan out some new things. One, we'll do some things about Bad Batch. Two, we'll probably do a Marvel show pretty soon, and just have fun with it, and maybe make it an extra one. I don't know, but to all you listeners out there, thanks. And so, in closing, again, follow us at Rule the Galaxy SW on Twitter. I always forget to tell everybody we are on Facebook. I don't check it that much, and I apologize, but a lot of people are on Facebook. Go check out Rule the Galaxy SW on Facebook. Um, and email us rulethegalaxysw@gmail.com, or just watch us be silly on YouTube. Rule the Galaxy. Mass, Alfie, thank you guys a ton. For all the listeners who sent in all the remarks there, brought up some good memories and some good things to talk about. So we appreciate it. And we'll have some more topics next week. And you know what? Until then, may the force be with you.